In the previous chapter, we had seen vertical division of power among different levels of government is one of major forms of power sharing in modern democracies. In this chapter, we focus on this form of power sharing referred as federalism. We begin by describing federalism in general terms. So, let us see what is federalism. To understand federalism, we recall the Constitution of Belgium, which reduced the power of central government and gave their powers to the regional government in 1993. Thus, Belgium shifted from a unitary to federal form of government. Sri Lanka continues to be the unitary system where the national government has all the powers. Tamil leaders want Sri Lanka to become federal system. Thus, federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. A federation has two levels of government. One is the government for entire country, that is usually responsible for the subject of national interest. Second route is the government at the level of provinces or a state that look after day-to-day administration of their state. Both these levels of government enjoy their power independent of the other. Federations are contrasted with unitary government. In unitary system, only one level of government or subunits are subordinate to the central government. In unitary system, central government pass orders to the provincial and local government, but in a federal system, central government cannot order the state government to do something. A state government has power of its own for which it is not answerable to the central government. Both these governments are separately answerable to the people. Now, let us see the features of federalism. There are two or more levels of government. Next, each tier of the government has its own jurisdiction in matter of legislation, taxation, and administration. Next, the jurisdiction of each tier are specified in the Constitution. The area, let us now see what is jurisdiction. The area over which someone has legal authority to work. Area may be geographical boundaries or certain subjects. Next, the fundamental provision for the Constitution cannot be changed unilaterally but require the concept of both the levels of government. Next, courts have the power to interpret the Constitution and the powers of different levels of government. Next, sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. The federal system has dual objective. First is to safeguard and promote unity of the country, and second is to accommodate the regional diversity. Now, let us think about the ideal federal system. An ideal federal system has both aspects. First is mutual trust, and second is agreement to live together. The exact balance of power between the central and the state government varies from one federation to another federation. There are two kinds of routes through which federations have been formed. First is coming together federations, second is holding together federations. In coming together federations, all the constituent states usually have equal power and are strong in relation to the federal government. This type of government is in United States of America, Switzerland, and Australia. In holding together federation, the central government is tend to be more powerful in relation to a state government. Different constituent units of the federation have unequal powers. This type of government is in India, Spain, and Belgium. In next video, we will learn about what makes India a federal country. Thanks.